Good day, good morning, good afternoon. I don't know what time of day it is for you, but good day. I hope you're having or have had a blessed day. If you changed your vocabulary like we talked about, then I guarantee you have. Vocabulary and perception, perspective, these things matter. Pray, like we talk about every day, right? Pray for the leadership, whether it be secular or religious, because they all need prayers. Pray for anyone being held in any kind of slavery. For anyone being persecuted for their faith, regardless of what that faith is. Pray for those you know that need the prayers, and we know what I'm talking about, right? The people that are on the fence about God, the people that are struggling with where they're at, right? Pray for them. You know who they are. Pray for them. Pray for anyone in your family, your friends. That's obvious that you pray for those people. But make sure you pray for the ones that hate you too. For the ones you don't want to pray for. When you're trying to forgive someone or struggling with that, remember that you may have done the exact same sin 1,000 times in your life at this point, and God still forgives you every time you ask Him to. You don't have to be best friends with that person anymore, but you got to forgive them. Because if you don't, you can never let it go, right? Now, here's the hard part. You ready? That includes yourself. We suck at that, don't we? Forgiving ourselves for things we've done. Forgiving ourselves for screwing up our own life. For messing up our kids when we could have done better. Right? But the thing is, just like forgiving the other person so that they don't get to take up space in your head rent-free, right? If you don't ever forgive yourself, if you can't move past and forgive yourself for the things you've messed up, then it's nearly impossible to move on from it. Because every day you'll beat yourself up over it. You'll think about it. Something will happen. You'll go, oh, if I hadn't. Oh, if I didn't. Right? The truth is you did. Can't go back. Can't change it. Can't fix it. It's done. All you got control over is from now forward. From now forward, spend your time wisely. Spend it on people you love and on people that love you. Spend it on things that bring you closer to God. And in time, you forgive yourself. Because you will recognize the beautiful love that is His forgiveness, and that will help you. Yeah? Alright, anyway, let's get to reading. Yeah? We got chapters 27 and 28 today of Numbers, which, I mean, look, we're almost to Deuteronomy here. We are closing in on Deuteronomy. Now, there are some long chapters in Numbers coming up. I'll admit that to you. It's going to be some pretty long readings. But I think we're like 35 or something is the end of... 36 is the end of Numbers. I was close. And then we'll be in Deuteronomy. So, 27, 28 today. Next week, we'll be finished with Numbers, moving into Deuteronomy. And I mean, once we get through Deuteronomy, we're getting into... right, what certain Christianity groups call the historical books, right? We're getting into Joshua, we're getting into we're getting into these books that... It's funny, right? There's a whole lot of Bible before we get to those books. But those are the books people talk about. They don't talk about Numbers. Numbers is fascinating. They don't talk about Exodus. Not really. They talk about the Exodus. But they don't talk about the whole book. Right? We pick out parts. And I'm not saying that's wrong. You got to start somewhere. I'm saying if you're a pastor, a preacher, a reverend, a priest, whatever you... It's got to be about the whole book at some point. At some point, you have to have read it so much that you can just teach it. Until you can teach it, you don't know it. That's just a fact. Everything in life is that way. If you can't teach it, you don't know it. If you're a teacher and you have to look at the book all the time to teach what you're teaching, you don't know it. You gotta learn to the point where you don't have to look at the book, where you know it, right? Then you can impart that wisdom to other people. But it's nearly impossible if you're struggling with it yourself. Not saying it's your fault. Maybe some people just can't grasp whatever it is, right? Go teach something else. I don't know if I will ever give my human ability any credit to discerning or unpacking this word. I genuinely believe that the Holy Spirit gives me any knowledge I have of this book. I can recognize literary tropes. I can tell you things that they're doing with the way they're writing. But the meaning behind it and what God wants me to have from this, I don't believe there's any way for me to be educated enough to get that. Right? I believe that has to come from the Holy Spirit. Remember that Christ says, woe to the learned man. A lot of that is because we like to use our own, right? I got really upset when my dad died, right? Because I prayed and I was sure God was going to save him. That's you putting that on God. That's not God telling you He's going to save you. That's you that's your will, imposing itself, right? We have to let God's will be God's will. We don't impose anything. Anyway, I don't want to belabor a bunch of things. It's already 6 minutes in. Here we go. Chapter 27, 28 of Numbers, shall we? The daughters of Zelophehad, the son of Hepher, son of Gilead, son of Machir, son of Manasseh, came forward. Zelophehad belonged to the clans of Manasseh, son of Joseph. The names of his daughters were Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. Standing before Moses, Eleazar the priest, the princes, and the whole community at the entrance of the tent of meeting said, Our father died in the wilderness, although he did not join the faction of those who conspired against the Lord, Korah's faction. He died for his own sin without leaving any sons. But why should our father's name be cut off from his clan merely because he had no son? Give us land among our father's kindred. So, remember we went up and Aaron died, right? And all these daughters gather up that were Zelophehad's daughters, right? And they're like, we just want the property too. So Moses laid their case before the Lord, and the Lord said to him, The plea of Zelophehad's daughters is just. You shall give them hereditary land among their father's kindred, and transfer their father's heritage to them. Tell the Israelites, if a man dies without leaving a son, you shall transfer his heritage to his daughter. If he has no daughter, you shall give his heritage to his brothers. If he has no brothers, you shall give his heritage to his father's brothers. If his father had no brothers, you shall give his heritage to his nearest relative in his clan, who shall then take possession of it. This will be the statutory procedure for the Israelites as the Lord commanded Moses. The Lord said to Moses, Go up into this mountain of the Abraham range. Again, y'all, don't let stuff like that throw you off, right? It's just a mountain range. It's just a mountain range. It was like on the eastern side of the Dead Sea. I mean, it still is, but it's not called that anymore. It's just a mountain range. Don't let stuff like that beat you. Also, don't lose your place trying to explain why stuff like that shouldn't beat you. And view the land that I have given to the Israelites. When you have viewed it, you will be gathered to your people, as was Aaron your brother. So, he's already told Moses, right, you're not ever going into this land either. But go up here on this mountain and look over, and you can see the beautiful land your people are going to inherit. And then, right, when you have viewed it, you will be gathered to your people, as was Aaron your brother. For in the rebellion of the community in the wilderness of Zin, you both rebelled against my order to acknowledge my holiness before them by means of the water. These were the waters of Meribah of Kadesh in the wilderness of Zin. Then Moses said to the Lord, May the Lord, the God of the spirits of all humanity, set over the community someone who will be their leader in battle and who will lead them out and bring them in, that the Lord's community may not be like sheep without a shepherd. And the Lord replied to Moses, Take Joshua son of Nun, a man of spirit, and lay your hand upon him. Have him stand before Eleazar the priest and the whole community, and commission him in their sight. Invest him with some of your own power, that the whole Israelite community may obey him. He shall present himself to Eleazar the priest, who will seek for him the decision of the Urim in the Lord's presence. And, as he directs, Joshua, all the Israelites with him, and the whole community will go out for battle. And as it directs, they will come in. Moses did as the Lord had commanded him, taking Joshua and having him stand before Eleazar, whichever one, the priest and the whole community. He laid his hands on him and commissioned him, as the Lord had directed through Moses. Chapter 28. The Lord said to Moses, Give the Israelites this commandment. At their prescribed times you will be careful to present to me the food offerings that are due me, oblations of pleasing aroma to me. You will tell them, therefore, this is the oblation which you will offer to the Lord: 2 unblemished yearling lambs each day of the regular burnt offering 1 lamb in the morning and the other during the evening twilight, each with a grain offering of 1/10 of an ephah of bran flour mixed with 1/4 of a hin of oil of crushed olives. This is the regular burnt offering that was made at Mount Sinai for a pleasing aroma and oblation to the Lord. And as the libation for the first lamb, you will make a libation to the Lord in the sanctuary of 1/4 of a hin of strong drink. The other lamb you will offer during the evening twilight, making the same grain offering and the same libations as in the morning, as an oblation of pleasing aroma to the Lord. Sorry. On the Sabbath day, 2 unblemished yearling lambs with a grain offering of 2/10 of an ephah of bran flour mixed with oil, and its libation. This is the Sabbath burnt offering each Sabbath, in addition to the regular burnt offering and its libation. On your new moons you will offer as a burnt offering to the Lord 2 bulls of the herd, 1 ram, and 7 unblemished yearling lambs, with 3/10 of an ephah of bran flour mixed with oil as the grain offering for each bull, 2/10 of an ephah of bran flour mixed with oil as the grain offering for each ram, and 1/10 of an ephah of bran flour mixed with oil as the grain offering for each lamb, a burnt offering with a pleasing aroma and oblation to the Lord. Their libations will consist of 1/2 tin of wine for each bull, 1/3 of a tin for the ram, and 1/4 of a hin for the lamb. This is the burnt offering for the new moon, for every new moon through the months of the year. Moreover, there will be 1 goat for a purification offering to the Lord. It will be offered in addition to the regular burnt offering as its libation. The 14th day of the first month is the Passover of the Lord. Remember, the first month, they're always starting in spring. Right. The Easter always lands in April, pretty much, for us. The 14th day of the first month is the Passover of the Lord, and the 15th day of this month is the Pilgrim's Feast. For 7 days unleavened bread is to be eaten. On the first day you will declare a holy day, and you shall do no work. You will offer an oblation, a burnt offering to the Lord, 2 bulls of the herd, 1 ram, 7 yearling lambs, and 1 unblemished. Make sure all the lambs are unblemished. Sorry. You know, it's funny, right? You will do no heavy work on this day, but offer me 2 bulls, 1 ram, 7 lambs. Somebody's doing some work. Their grain offerings will be bran flour mixed with oil. You will offer 3/10 of an ephah for each bull, and 2/10 for each ram. You will offer 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs, and 1 goat as a purification offering to make atonement for yourselves. These offerings you will make in addition to the morning burnt offering, which is a part of the regular burnt offering. You will make exactly the same offerings each day for 7 days as food offerings, oblations of pleasing aroma to the Lord. They will be offered in addition to the regular burnt offering, which is with its libation. On the 7th day you will declare a holy day. You shall do no heavy work. On the day of first fruits, on your feast of weeks, when you present to the Lord an offering of new grain, the Feast of Weeks that he's talking about, I mean, they told you right out where it's at, right? So I have password. They're really happy about. For us, it'd be all about the wheat, right? The winter wheat coming in, everybody gathering the winter wheat and having a good harvest. They're celebrating. Don't beat it up, Dave. Make it more complicated. There's plenty in this book that is heavy laden and complex. Don't make the simple things heavy laden and complex when they're simple. So on the day of first fruits, on the Feast of Weeks, when you present to the Lord an offering of new grain, you will declare a holy day. You shall do no heavy work. You offer burnt offering for a pleasing aroma to the Lord, 2 bulls of the herd, 1 ram, and 7 yearling lambs, that you are sure are unblemished. Their grain offerings will be of bran flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for each bull, 2/10 for each ram, 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs. 1 goat will be a purification offering to make atonement for yourselves. You will make these offerings together with their libations, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain offering. That's the end of 28, y'all. Do 29, 30 tomorrow. Make sure you pray today. Pray unceasingly. We talk about it, right? It's possible. Change your vocabulary. Nothing is lucky. Everything is a blessing. Change your perspective, right? You can't shove God down someone else's throat. But you can bring him up, put him in front of them, and pray for him. So do that. Pray for them. Be there for them. We all know people that are on the fence about God, or they just flat out don't believe. You got to pray for them. I remind you that Christ would gladly leave the 99 to go find the one that was lost, right? You got to pray for those people. I have really good friends, people I love, that don't believe in God. I still mention them a lot. Every time they got something going on, I tell them I'll pray for them. When I've got something on, I ask them to pray for me, and they do. The point is, put him in front of them. Over and over again. Put him in front of them. And pray for them. God will do the rest. We all struggle to hear God's voice sometimes. Don't let that beat you up. Pray. Talk to him. And then shut up and sit there quietly and listen. Yeah? I love you. But Jesus Christ loves you so much more that my love seems pitiable. Have a beautiful and blessed day.